The easiest way to do it is for me to just take a video and show you how I did it. I don't think you need any help trying to figure out how to mount it to your bench. The most important thing is to have a flush surface, as you see here, with very little overhang, because there is enough torque in these machines when you pull that handle down to curl over an edge. And also you want to reinforce underneath the bench all the way back to the wall, and I would say at the very minimum 2 or 3 ganged up 2x4s or 2x6s front to rear, and screwed all the way through at the front. My bench doesn't have any legs on the back. I've got it anchored directly to the wall, but many people put it on 4 legs, and they do fine with it. The most important thing is to simply have a good attachment to the wall so it won't pull forward. When you mount the bench, when you mount the press to the bench, one of the things that you'll notice is that the handle comes detached. The most important thing to keep in mind is that this handle has a bend to it. That particular bend is to clear the primer feed attachment. So you want to have it curled away from the machine. And the other thing is to notice that the bottom of the tube has to go all the way through the press. I would pass it through at least so you have a 1/4 of an inch through the other side. You can pass as much through as you want to, which allows you to have a little bit shorter swing. But this press has got compound leverage, so whatever way feels most comfortable for you is fine. Then once you get it set up, you'll notice that there's a couple of extra parts that come in the bag. One of them is this primer feed hanger, and let me stop the video and I'll bring it up closer so you can see that. Now right there, Pete, you can see the primer feed hanger. The way that's attached, now you'll notice, Pete, that looking on from the front of the machine, I've got it slightly angled. You'll be able to figure out the best angle once you get the primer feed attachment hung. As you see right now, with the primer feed hanging in the direction that's hanging, it's actually swinging on the axis of the main shaft. That you want to have the primer feed swing directly towards the center of that shaft, which is where the primer is actually going to sit on the top of the ram. And another important thing to notice here is the washer goes above the spacer, and the flats are toward the machine. One of the really nice things about the Lee machine is the way they have the primer disposal system. Many companies have nothing at all except a tray, which gets dirty and messy. The tube is just simply pushed onto the attachment at the end of the press. What I did was just wrap a piece of wire around it, but a cable tie would be a lot prettier, a lot nicer. Now these are the remaining parts that actually come with the press. These are both the primer feed arms, and there's one for a small primer and one for a large primer. They're pretty easy to identify. You can mark them on the side with a magic marker to make things easier for you if you want, but you'll find this pretty simple. The other thing is the rotation shaft. This is actually what actuates the turning mechanism on the turret. It can be left out for single stage operation, or to control feed, or you can put it in during full automation. Of course, anything that you really need to know is listed in their manual. If there's any failing with the Lee system, is that I think they presume that everybody who buys one of these machines is mechanically adept, and they don't go into specific details on how to turn screws, but most of it's pretty simple to figure out. Now that's pretty much the basic stuff with regard to mounting the press. Now we'll get into how to actually attach the dies and the powder mechanism. First of all, simply take the turret, and place it on top of the machine without the rotation axle, and just index it into place. Now your dies will come with these three right here. The first one is a decapping die and resizing die in one. You'll see at the bottom in the center there's a decapping pin that pushes out the old primer, and the body of the die is shaped the same exact dimensions as your chamber. Perhaps it's supposed to be a tiny bit smaller than your chamber of your rifle, so that the round will feed correctly. And at the top of it, you'll notice that the pin protrudes through the nut. That nut is simply a collet nut, which is screwed down under force. If you should, for any reason, need to adjust that, or you get a stuck case, you can loosen that nut up, and then drive down with a ball peen hammer. That's a hardened pin. You can drive down with a ball peen hammer and drive the stuck case out. That's an eventuality you want to stay away from, though, if you can avoid it, because it wastes the case, and it takes about 10 minutes to get back into operation. But the first thing that we're going to want to do is to, first of all, just place this in the press to get it started. And then we need to place a shell holder on the top of the ram to do our final adjustments. Now your set of dies may just come with one shell holder. Someday, if you have enough calibers, you probably want to buy a kit full of them, and that will give you all the primary shell holders that you'll need for the lion's share of cartridges in the world. And packed inside the shell holder set, on the back you'll find the card which lists all the different calibers. And if you look for 223 Remington, you'll find it right here down about 1.5 inches from the top in the first column, and it says right there that we need shell holder number 4. Out shell holder number 4, and then place that, snap it right in. It should come to a dead stop. Now this machine naturally comes clean from the factory, but I would be careful to take any possible chips of metal out of grooves. So get yourself a small little paintbrush and wipe those out. And we don't need the primer feed arm in there right now, and it'll get in the way. But the first thing we'll do is we'll raise the ram all the way to the top, and then screw the die all the way down until the die contacts the top of the shell holder. Now you'll notice that each of these dies has a 7/8 O-ring wrapped around the body. That O-ring is a special Lee invention that allows you to tighten this die down without the use of lock screws and all sorts of widgets that other companies have come up with that really don't work. This doesn't in any way damage the die, and it makes adjustment very, very simple with fingers only most of the time. But what you want to do is back off that locking ring sufficiently so that you can be sure that you've bottomed out. And once you've bottomed out on the ram, as you can see here, and you make sure that you're not bottomed out on the lock nut until the ram is contacted, then screw down with your fingers onto your locking ring. Now, what moved there was just simply the I had turned the turret, but you just want to turn that down until it's finger tight, and if you wish you can give it an extra forceful turn with your fingers until you're sure that that O-ring is crushed. Once that's adjusted and set into operation, there's no need to move that ever again. Now just simply raise the lever and move the ram out of the way. The station's index clockwise, so simply move your turret clockwise to the next index position. Now, one of the accessories that you purchased was a Lee rifle charging die. That's a special powder dump die, and it's tall enough so that it will clear all the other dies in the turret. And it says on it Lee rifle, and it should say C2 perhaps. Now again, we'll raise the ram. And we'll back the lock ring off enough so that we can be sure that we're seated all the way down in. These are standard 7/8 by 14 machine threads. They're a universal thread that's used throughout the industry. Lee dies will accept anybody else's, Lee presses will accept anybody else's dies, and vice versa. Now this time, rather than screwing the die all the way down in, we first want to remove the powder funnel at the top. This powder funnel, by the way, will accept a regular standard Lee powder funnel to use that as a powder reservoir. But what we'll do right now is remove that, place to the side, and we'll take the powder charging mechanism. Now, your powder charger came with a number of parts, but it's all set up and ready to go. The one thing that you want to make sure you have on it is this attachment right here, which is the quick detaching mechanism. If it's not installed on it, you'll do just as I show here. You may need to remove the arm that came with it. There's a T-arm that may come with the charging mechanism. Remove it by taking the screw off. Being careful, this spring is under tremendous pressure. Just take that screw off and replace it with this abbreviated control arm. And then place that down inside and simply tighten it all the way down. Now once it's all the way down and it's secure, you can tighten it with the black knurled ring. And you'll notice that this can be swung in any direction. It'll be preferable to have it positioned over the turret for most of your operations. But if you need to make any adjustments, you can swing it out of the way and then turn it back again. Now at the top of it, you'll notice that there's this arm, and this arm right here, which is actuated by the contact of the case inside the die. As the case comes up inside the die, there is a sleeve inside that pushes up and actuates this control arm, and that control arm pivots and then pushes the disc, your feed disc, over this hole. And this charge hole is always remaining open, so the powder simply drops free fall. And you always want to make sure that you can see this hopper in case you should have any obstruction or anything that would prevent powder from freely dropping.